I've got Kelly in here with me. She's going to try to help be the moderator of our chat. Hopefully it doesn't get too impacted. We'll see. It's setting up our meeting right now. I've got Kelly in here with me. She's going to try to.
So is it recording?
Yeah, yeah. So like you hear me because it's like, you know, delayed. Okay, so let me get the link. And I'm sending it to Dahlia now to post on our site. Okay, what I would do right now, because once this goes live, people are going to see us. So let's all kind of right now turn off our yeah.
I think my video's frozen.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna try again.
This happened to me last time too, where I can't figure out how to turn off my video. Dang it.
I can see you, Abby.
Okay.
And you're not muted.
It says video unavailable and I don't know why. Oy vey. Okay.
It says we're live up in the top corner, Rebecca.
Yeah, and my whole view on mine has malfunctioned here, where I can't mute myself or take off my screen, or I mean, I'm sure it's just a user error issue right now.
Are we supposed to be looking at the first slide right now, the presentation?
Yes.
Okay. That's what I see.
Still sees. Let me try it again. Okay. I'm now seeing it there. I still am not seeing. Hmm. Oh, there we go. All right, well, I may just have to be live the whole time since I can't find a way to turn off my video or audio. I apologize. I wanted to be able to do that so then people were only seeing you when it was your turn. Okay. We're gonna,
Rebecca, I think I can I think I have that power to mute everyone.
can you, because if you can see it, like
can
if
see
you
it.
can see it, that would be best.
Okay, let me try it right now.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good.
Real quick,
Can you
does
see
anybody
me?
have-
Because now I can't see myself at all.
No, we can't see you.
Oh, there we go. Start my
Oh,
video.
no.
Okay, thank you.
Tristan is not on here. Does anybody have his cell phone number to text him?
Hopefully his wife isn't giving birth right now.
I've texted him a few times already and haven't heard back from him.
Okay.
Kelly, do you want to just see if we can find a phone number for him?
Yeah.
I don't know if we have one, or ask Steph.
No.
Okay, 14 people are watching. So that's good. We're getting more people.
Can they hear us right now?
Yes.
Oh. Hi, guys. Sorry.
Hopefully his wife isn't giving birth right now.
I've texted him a few times already and haven't heard back from him.
Okay.
Kelly, do you want to just see if we can?
You just want me to text him and tell him that he's not on?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hi, welcome. I just wanted to make a quick announcement that we are going to be starting shortly. I know it just turned 6 o'clock. I'm glad that you guys can hear us. We were nervous about that. This is our first time live streaming. Thank you to the 15 that are here. Like I said, we're gonna wait just a couple more minutes just because we want to make sure that everybody got the chance to find our link on our website. So we'll start at probably like 6:02. Thank you for the comments coming in. We can read them, which is great because that's how you guys will communicate any questions that you have for us tonight. Okay, so let's get started. Thank you for your patience. I appreciate it. Just so you know, if you see me kind of looking off to the side, it's because my Zoom page is looking a little bit different. And so I'm actually having to pull up my document on a separate computer in order to read my slides. Courtney, if you could go to the next slide, please. So I'd like to start off by introducing myself. I am Rebecca Mullen. I am the principal. I am really excited to virtually see you all tonight. I just wanted to let you know that since you guys are watching this on YouTube, you have the ability to enter messages in the chat box. We are monitoring that chat box. So I will be looking at it from time to time, either myself or our assistant principal, Kelly Sandstrom, in order to make sure that we are able to answer any questions that you guys have and support you. Looking at our first slide here, I just wanted to let you guys know that because this is a live stream, you do still have the ability to pause. So if you see contact information or classroom codes that you want to jot down or have, especially if you came to pick up those school supply kits, your child's schedule was in that bag. And let's say you wanted to write down the class code so you're kind of prepared for tomorrow, you can do that. Don't hesitate. You're going to pause it, but just know that then you'll be a little bit delayed. There's about like I want to say like a 30-second to a minute delay from what we're presenting and what you're seeing. So I apologize too if there's a delay in the way that we're answering questions. All right, next slide, please. Okay, so I'd like to start off by talking about our daily bell schedule and what that looks like. So welcome to middle school for our 7th grade families that are joining us. This is going to look very different than what you saw in 6th grade. Basically, what's going to happen is even though we're in distance learning, the students are still going to follow their traditional bell schedule. So that means that they have roughly 53-minute periods. Mondays are an early release day still because we still are having collaboration time for teachers. Tuesday through Thursday is pretty much a traditional schedule. And then Friday, we carved out extra minutes in first period because we do still plan to honor our Friday flag salute, which is a tradition here at Don Regio. I also wanted to mention about the bell schedule that, attendance is important. And I know that a 7:50 start time is probably going to be pretty hard for our middle schoolers when they have just had probably a lot of time going to bed really late and getting to sleep in. So that is definitely going to be an adjustment. Trying to get to bed earlier is definitely going to help. All right, next slide, please. Okay, so in this slide, I wanted to talk to you guys about communication, what communication looks like. So first and foremost, if you have not signed up for our Aries parent portal, please do this. Couple reasons. One, it gives us your most up-to-date current information. It's really easy online to update phone numbers and contact information, email addresses, things like that. But also you can track your students' assignments. You can track attendance. I know that especially since you have middle schoolers, it's very likely that you may be going off to work and leaving them at home as they're doing distance learning. Well, then at work, you can check attendance to make sure that in fact that they are logging in and checking in with each of their teachers throughout the day. There is a link here in the presentation. And I have also included this in the back to school presentation that's on our website, so you can access that link in order to give you directions to do that. I also wanted to really reiterate the power of an email address. We really need email addresses moving forward. And the reason why is because a lot of my communication, besides in like the phone call paste message, is going to be going out through email notifications, and teachers do the same thing. So having that email address will ensure that you don't miss any of our communication. Teachers are going to be communicating using primarily Remind, Google Classroom, phone calls. They will build in parent office hours and will communicate those with you so they can give you set times on when the best time is to reach them. My communication will be in the form of all calls, which you guys have already received a lot of, emails, and also video and newsletters that I'll push out through the teachers. So you'll see those like posted in the Google Classrooms. Our office hours are from 7:30 to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. We do ask that if you do come to campus, that only one person comes into the office at a time. So if you're coming with a family, we ask that if part of the family can wait in the car, that would be best. We want as few people in the office as possible. And when you are in the office, to please wear a mask. And then finally, I wanted to make sure that my contact information is here. I want you guys to know that my door is always open and I am here to help and again, answer any questions and support you to the best of my ability. So there's both my email and our school contact information. All right, Courtney, next slide. Okay, my last slide is all about online behavior expectations. And the behavior expectations for students, again, I've included this in that back to school presentation that you guys may have already watched that was posted on the website, but I wanted to review it here because these are really important, especially amongst our older students. So first is dress code. Our school dress code still applies. We have our student handbook up on our Don Regio website. So if you want to actually review and look over the dress code requirements, you guys can go there to do that. And if for whatever reason we see a student, let's say, wearing a shirt that has an inappropriate logo or a shirt that is low cut, then what we will ask is for the student to turn off their camera, to change, and then join back in when they're ready. Students will also be expected to communicate in a professional manner with staff and fellow students. There's going to be a lot of not just communication in the Google Meets, but in the chat box, in Google Docs, where you guys are sharing and collaborating and sharing information. Because of those different forms of communication, it is really important that students always remember respect and that they're being respectful of others as well as respecting themselves in the words that they're choosing to use. So that ties into then number 3 about abstaining from any obscene or inappropriate language. Students should also, and this is probably one that I'm going to spend a little bit more time on here tonight, is avoid any kind of conduct that could be seen as cyberbullying or cyber harassment. At no time are students allowed to take pictures or videos of the class sessions. If for whatever reason content is pulled from the classroom and then used, let's say, on a social media platform to make fun of somebody or to do something inappropriate or say something inappropriate, there will be consequences for that. We do follow a progressive discipline approach. So, you know, Mrs. Sandstrom and I will be maybe virtually or in person meeting with students, talking about our expectations. Even though we are in a digital setting, this is still class time. This is still considered school. So the behavior that happens in these classes could still have consequences. And I just want to make sure that that's clear. Even though they're at home, it's still considered part of that school day. And we definitely take things like cyberbullying and cyber harassment very seriously. And those are situations where you could see a student maybe having to attend a virtual focus center or receiving a suspension. And then the last thing is to not impersonate other students by logging into other people's email addresses or using misidentification. Anytime a child is entering into the classroom, we want them entering as themselves. It's really important that they're only accessing their information. Okay, so that is it for my section. And I'm gonna open it now to Ms. Contino, who is our English Language Arts and Drama teacher. Take it away, Ms. Contino.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Chrissy Contino. Like Ms. Mullen said, I teach ELA and drama. Just a little bit about me. I've been at Don Regio for 6 years now, I'm going into my 6th year. I've been teaching for that long, and then I subbed for what feels like a million years before that. And before that, I worked in theater. So this is the perfect place for me, Don Regio School. As you can see here, you have all of my class codes. So if you didn't get those before, or you haven't checked Aries and you can't find them, all of the class codes for my Google Classroom are listed right here. The curriculum that we use is Study Sync. So if you are in Lincoln Unified as a sixth grader, then it should be pretty familiar to you. And the way that you access the curriculum is through Clever, and then you click on the little red McGraw-Hill icon. On Aries, all of my Google Classroom links are listed, as well as each of the Google Meet links for each period of the day. Over here, you can also join my Remind, which would be great because that's the main way I communicate with parents. It's the easiest way I've found to get information out and to answer your questions. This year, both 7th and 8th grade, we're going to start with reading The Outsiders. It's typically something that I teach the end of the 7th grade year, but because my current 8th graders missed out on it in the spring, I think it's important that we read the book because it's one of my favorites and it ends up being one of the students' favorites as well. So the 7th graders will get a little early this year and the 8th graders will get it a little late, but better late than never. We also read The Giver in 7th grade and then The Diary of Anne Frank in 8th grade. Next slide, please. Okay, I'm also the drama teacher. So I teach all the theater classes, our theater classes, and usually we do a big production with 7th and 8th grade. And last year we had the 6th grade join us as well. So that was really fun. This year, we're going to start the year in my drama class working on audition etiquette. We're going to put together a full audition book in collaboration with Mrs. Dahl's class. Mrs. Dahl teaches choir, and you'll meet her a little later. I'm right here with the brunette hair, and she's over here with the blonde hair in my slide. We collaborate a lot. Drama and choir are very close here at Don Regio. And then after that, in drama, we'll work on short scenes and monologues virtually, and we are going to hopefully collaborate with the kids to try to figure out what production we want to do this year via Zoom or Google Meet. And you can join my Remind for that for drama class as well. Okay, I think the next person up is Mrs. McCormick, who is the best math teacher ever.
Oh, maybe I can start it myself. Can you hear me? Is it working?
Yes.
Okay, good. I've had some technical difficulties. Okay, I'm Mrs. McCormick. I'm the 7th and 8th grade math teacher here at Don Regio. I'll be starting my 10th year here and 18 years with the district this year. I'm super excited to get started with this school year, as different as it may be, but we're going to make it work out. Okay, next slide. There we go. Okay, so every day in math, every period that students go to, they will access their Google Classroom by clicking on the Classwork tab. From there, it'll bring them to this screen that you see here, and the students will click on Class Video Meeting, and that will bring them into our class. This is also the place where they would find some assignments or a place that they can also turn in work. We have a website for math, and on the website, you will find all the Google Classroom codes as well as all the codes for Remind. Make sure you add all your classes tonight if you haven't done so yet. Next slide. Okay, in math, we use Eureka Math, which will contain classwork, exit tickets, homework helpers, and there's some problem sets regarding homework, we're going to try very hard to do a lot together on the camera and maybe a couple problems for independent work on their own, but we're going to try to keep it at a minimum of less than 30 minutes, hopefully. We're going to use communication a lot to talk about how it's going to see if we need to make some adjustments. Students will contact me either using Remind or my email. Please come to all Google Meets prepared. Have your quiet space ready with your spiral math notebooks that were given to you in your school supplies, as well as your math text, a pencil, and then any math tools that we're going to be using for the day. Please have those ready. Yeah, if you have any other questions, please email me, let me know. There's our website link as well.
Back this up a little bit. Hi, I'm Natalie Celez. Welcome to Read 180 for 7th and 8th grade. I teach English language arts, and I have been a teacher for 10 years. This will be my 6th year at Don Regio. Read 180 is a little unique because it is a 2-block period. So if your child is in Read 180, they will have me for both 3rd and 4th period. Next slide. Okay, so just like Mrs. McCormick is doing with her class, you will always enter my Google Classroom first, and I have the code posted right there. Once you enter the Google Classroom, then you can click on the link to do the Google Meet, which will take you to the live video with me. It's very simple. Once you log into my Google Meet, we will be doing the Read 180 software, which the student goes onto the elementary student portal, and they literally just click the Read 180 icon. And then they log in using their student ID number as their username, and their password is their birthday backwards. So the year, month, and day. I will be using the Remind app, but I primarily like to contact parents individually through email, and my email is listed there as well as my Remind code. And that's it. And then I think Courtney Wise is next.
All right, welcome to History. My name is Courtney Wise. For 7th grade, your students will be learning about medieval history this year. We're going to start out learning about the Roman Empire. We'll be exploring Africa, China, the Middle East. We'll look at the samurais in Japan. We will be looking at European civilization along with the Mongol Empire. We'll talk about the Incas and the Aztecs, and then end the year looking at the Renaissance and the Scientific Revolution. Here, like everyone else, are my classroom codes for all 6 periods. 3rd period is visual arts. For history, we're going to be using TCI, which is our online textbook. They will find that link by logging on to elementary.lusd.net. And then they will click onto Clever. From Clever, they're going to need to use their Google ID. And then they will click TCI, which is our curriculum. And in TCI, a screen will come up like this that will take them to their text, and they will click text, and that will take them into their online textbook. And then towards the bottom of the page will be the notebooks, the notes that we will be taking for class. We'll also be doing other things like ed puzzles and flip grids, different ways of, instead of just having to type out your answers, but different ways for them to be able to give me an answer, but maybe just explaining through a video. All right, so like the other teachers, I will communicate with you through Remind. So the 7th grade code is there that you can text and join my Remind class. I do a lot of communication through the school year through Remind. I will also be sending emails as well. And this is my email address at the bottom. Feel free to message me, students and parents. That's probably the easiest way to get a hold of me this year. And I look forward to meeting you all tomorrow. We will be starting out like the others. Please make sure that you are on Google Classroom, and then the the Google Meets information will be listed on Google Classroom. And next up is Mrs. Canosa.
Hi, I'm Ms. Canosa, and this is my 6th year at Don Regio. I teach multiple subjects, including Read 180, math, history, and science. So to join our class, like everybody else, you're going to join my Google Classroom, which is the homeroom, and the code is right up here. And next slide, please. And once you're on the Google Classroom, at the very top, Courtney, can you click, please? It'll say classwork, and you're just gonna go ahead and click classwork. And then it'll show you right underneath it the class video meeting link, and you're just gonna click that link right there. Once students get into class, I will help them add all of their other classes, go over schedules, and help them access all of their materials and everything needed during that homeroom class. Next slide. And as far as communication goes, you can always email me. And I also use Remind, so you can text at Canosa 2020 to that number below, and you'll be able to get updates and direct message me. And our new science teacher, Mr. Adams, that's our new science teacher. I think Mrs. Mullen's going to go over some of the things for his class.
Okay, so I just wanted to share that Tristan Adams, he is our new science teacher. We're really excited to have him. It is possible, I think his wife is almost due, so it's possible that she may have gone into labor, which is why he's not here tonight. We've been trying to reach him. I apologize that he's not here. He is very excited. This is his first year teaching science. However, he has quite a bit of a science background. You can go to the next slide. He is hoping to kind of, find different ways to engage learners and, put himself out there to, try to, even though it's going to be virtually, give more experiential classroom experiences. I don't like that I just said experiential and experiences, but you get what I'm saying, is that he wants hands-on experiences, but he also understands that unfortunately in this digital setting, it can be a little challenging. And so what he's going to try to do is integrate a lot of really great online resources that help to simulate the concepts that he will be teaching this year. He really loves this particular quote, which is why it's up here. I never teach my pupils, I only provide the conditions in which they can learn. There are his classroom codes, so if you wanted to pause the video and write those down, you can do so. More questions and information to come. You can maybe as a parent, depending on what your work schedule looks like, maybe chime in during science tomorrow in order to see him in person.
Hello, everybody. I am Mr. Eaton, and I will be your child's physical education teacher. I have been in the district now. This is year number 19. I think I'm kind of the old guy of the bunch now. This is my 13th year here at Don Riggio School. The logos, the pictures you see on there kind of give you a snapshot of what our distance learning is going to look like this year. Google Classroom, we are going to be using a lot daily, all the time. They get their assignments, get a lot of notifications through there. Flipgrid is how I'm going to get video assignments turned into me from your students. And there's already quite a few students have logged on to my Flipgrid accounts. TikTok is a way for my personality to get out there to the kids. I enjoy goofing around with your students. We talk about all kinds of random subjects in class. Particularly, the kids know I like 80s music, greatest decade ever. And so TikTok is going to be a way for us to just kind of goof around and have fun. There's going to be nothing graded on TikTok, just ways for them to kind of get to know my personality and get to know kind of how I goof around with some of the other teachers here on campus as well. And then there's the logo of hard work, which is definitely what we're going to be doing. My goal for distance learning is to get your kids off the computer, and not necessarily off the computer, but up and moving as much as possible. I realize we're going to be sitting in front of a computer all day long, and I'm going to try to get them moving, get them exercising as much as we can. Go ahead, next slide, Courtney. Hit it one more time too, please. Courtney, hit the button again. There we go. All right, so those are all the codes from my Google Classroom. And again, I know a lot of students have already logged on because I've been getting emails from students about various things. And that's where all of the information for our class will be. Just me messing around with Bitmoji there. And I am proving people wrong when they say you can't teach an old guy new tricks, because I'm trying all kinds of new stuff right now. And it's definitely forcing me into some different places, but I'm enjoying it. Dance, sports, games, exercise, fun, and then academic stuff there, health related fitness and exercise principles are all different types of things that we're going to be going over this year in our physical education class. And that's it for me, and I'm not sure who I'm turning it over to. Miss Dahl.
Hello, everybody. I'm Mrs. Dahl. I'm the choir teacher for grades 7 and 8. My Google Classroom code is right up there, and also my Remind code. Email really is the best way to reach me because I work at multiple sites. So if you email me, I'm usually really quick about getting back to you that way. Music classes in general are going to be a little different this year. We're going to sing. We're going to figure out how to do that online. We're going to do some music theory and history and really delve into some like history of music theater. We're going to be collaborating with the drama class, as Ms. Contino said, with doing audition books and doing some type of musical. Depending, we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna figure something out for you, and we're just gonna do some different things this year in choir, and I'm excited about it. I think it'll be fun, and we're gonna dive in and we're gonna do it together. So on tomorrow for my choir kids, when you get onto your Google Classroom, there is a classwork tab there, and under the classwork tab is your Google Meet link. And we'll be on, and otherwise email me and let me know if you have any questions. All right, I think Mr. Udang is up next.
All right. So I am Mr. Udang. I teach band here at Don Reggio, and just as Mrs. Dahl said, music is going to be very different this year. We're going to be mainly running out of our Google Classroom. All of our assignments, any materials will be posted into our Google Classroom. So that is our first code up on top. The best way to reach me is through email as well, because I am at 3 sites also. So constantly on the move, constantly checking my computer and checking my email as we go. If you can this year, I'm going to be communicating a lot through the Remind app. And the code there to text to 81010 is DRBand2020. That's just a way for us to make sure we're all on the same page. If you have any questions for me, you can feel free to send me a message anytime, and I'll respond to you as quick as I can. As far as band goes, we will be playing and doing theory and everything as well. But as instruments, as we start to get our students our instruments, we'll set up a time for us to meet at the school for you to pick up an instrument that will be assigned to your student. they are going to be able to take it home. There will be no sharing and cross-contamination. As we get later in the year, the hope is to hopefully record some audio that we can throw together and have a form of virtual performances, but that is very much up in the air. We have a lot of different options to choose from, which the kids and everyone will have a choice to chime in. So I'm excited to push on this year, and hopefully we keep everything going strong and everything safe. Thank you.
All right, good evening. So, orchestra, we're lumping all the music teachers together here, and now we're on orchestra. I'm Mr. Kalbach. The kids can call me Mr. K. Orchestra's third period, and I did not put the Google Classroom code because all of the orchestra students are already on my Google Classroom. So all they have to do is go to that Google Classroom during third period, which is Mondays at 9:50 and Tuesday through Friday at 10:12. And we are going to play our instruments. We're going to use a program later once it gets installed called Smart Music. And I will be expecting everyone to learn how to tune their instrument by themselves at home because I can't help. So unfortunately, so that'll be a big focus at first. We'll talk all about how to borrow an instrument from school if you need to. And I look forward to working with your students. Thank you.
All right. Hi, I am Katrina Mendelson. I am the resource specialist here at Don Riggio. I've been a dolphin now for 8 years. I've been teaching for 11 years. I basically provide academic support for the students in the classrooms. Your children may have already seen me pop in and out of their classrooms during the regular school year. I will be doing the same thing virtually. They'll see me popping in and out, asking students to come join me in small groups on a different Google Meet. As you see on there, I have a Google Classroom as well for the students that I've already invited. I have a personal schedule for them to follow so that I'm included on it. If you need to email me, my email's up there as well. I am very good about responding, and just a reminder to parents, please make sure we have your emails as well. I also co-teach Read 180 with Ms. Celez. So that's another place that your students will see me, or your children will see me. That's it for me. We're gonna close out with questions, and then we'll also have a screen with all of our information on it again at the end.
Okay, so to wrap up, we're gonna this is the close of our 7th grade time. We want to open it up to any questions. I've been trying while I've been off screen to answer questions that are coming up in our chat box. And right now it feels like some of the questions that are being asked are more like logistical questions of how to get logged in. You guys can email me. I've put my email address back up there, and I will, after back to school night is over, I will work to get you those answers. As of right now, if your child filled out the Google Forms back in the spring to say what elective they wanted, their elective should show up in their class list. If you were able to come today to pick up that school supply kit, it should be in there saying what class they have. Would anybody else like to add in there as far as the electives? The question had come up, if how would they know if their child was in band or orchestra? Or so if her daughter has visual arts, can she join orchestra? Like what could happen? For example, I know that there's a couple families that want to do maybe drama and band or drama and orchestra. Would one of you guys like to talk about that?
I can jump in there. So in the past, when we've been on campus, we have traditionally tried to share electives. If you're in like a music class, like band or choir or orchestra, we try to make that possible for you if we can work that out. Right now with distance learning, that's going to be a little bit different, but we can look at that on a case-by-case basis if it's something that's really important to your child. So I would just suggest emailing your elective teacher and then asking if that's a possibility, and we can look at that. We want to have kids in band and orchestra and choir, but we understand that with one elective period that, it's limited here. So we can look at that on a case-by-case basis. So just email your elective teacher and then we can work with you on that.
Thanks for that, Kara. And then also to just piggyback, because there was another question about how could we change our elective if they were assigned something but then have changed their mind over the summer. All of those kind of elective switches and kinks can be worked out the first week or two of school. So I think communication is key, either communicating it to your homeroom teacher, which is your first period teacher, or communicating it to your elective teacher. Okay, at this time, I'm sure that we've had some 8th grade families join us. So I just want to put it out there one more time. Are there any other questions from our 7th grade families? If not, I think we're going to circle back to the beginning and do the presentation again, but this time geared for our 8th graders. Okay, I'm not seeing anything show up. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Courtney, you can head on back to slide 1. Okay, we're starting again. I apologize for being a bit late. I actually think it's my fault. I tend to be a talker, so I need to work on that. Welcome to the 8th grade families. I am grateful that you guys were able to join us. I'm glad that you're here with us today, or tonight, I should say. Courtney, if you could go to the first slide of mine. I just wanted to say welcome. This is my virtual office. I'm glad that you're here. This is a live streamed event. So what this means is that if you have any questions or concerns, if you could please type those in the chat box. I will be the moderator of the chat box. So I'll be trying to answer questions as the presentation is going along. And then at the very end, we'll kind of open it up for any other questions that you guys may have. I also wanted to say too, because it's a live streamed event, that you can pause the video, even though it will kind of put you behind in the presentation. You can pause the video if for whatever reason there's content on the screen that you want to take down, such as classroom codes, email addresses, contact information, anything like that. Okay, next slide, please. All right, so let's talk about the bell schedule. For our 7th and 8th graders, we are still following the traditional bell schedule as though they were at school. This schedule is going to look really familiar for our returning 8th graders because this is the exact same schedule that they had last year. So no surprises here. Monday is still our early release day because it's our collaboration day. Tuesdays and Thursdays are our traditional bell schedule day. And then Friday, you'll see that first period's a bit longer, and that's because we have Friday flag salute. The plan is still to hold our virtual Friday flag salute. So we have this here just so students understand that they will be expected to attend 6 periods a day, starting at 7:50 in the morning. My guess is a lot of our 8th graders have gotten accustomed to sleeping in and maybe not going to bed until after midnight. And clearly that's going to have to change if they're going to have to be up and ready to go at 7:50. Attendance does matter. It does count. We will be taking attendance every period. So it is really important that your child is logging in at 7:50. Next slide, please. Okay, communication. Communication is key. So I wanted to spend some time here talking about how you can communicate with us and how we can better communicate with you. So first and foremost is if you have not signed up for the Aries parent portal for your student, I highly recommend doing this. There are many benefits for being a part of the parent portal. One, you can always update contact information. Sometimes cell phones change. Home phone numbers change, home address changes. A lot of things end up changing, and it's really important to keep that parent portal, your Aries contact information, as current as possible. Also, because now that we're in a distance learning platform, it is really important that we have your email address. Email seems to be almost the easiest, most effective way to communicate with you. And although you're going to get a lot of paste messages from me, you already have, we also want to be able to shoot you information through email as well. I did post on our website a back to school presentation. I'm not sure if you guys had the chance to watch it, but this slide is in there so you can access that link that gives you the directions of how to get on the parent portal. As far as how teachers are going to communicate, they're going to communicate with students through Google Classroom. So all of their assignments, all of their work, everything's going to get posted there. But as far as communication home, a lot of them use Remind or email. Those are probably the best ways to communicate in order to get the quickest responses for teachers. Teachers will also hold office hours, available times when they make themselves available to answer questions, to email you back, to make phone calls. Those would also be a great time to reach out to the teacher. Principal communication, you've kind of already seen what it's like the last week and a half, but I'll be doing all calls, emails, videos and newsletters that I push out through the teachers. So like that may show up in the Google Classroom. Our office hours here in the office, we are still open like a regular school day from 7:30 to 4. So you can still actually come to the office and get questions answered or turn things into us. What we do ask though is that only one family comes into the office at a time, and preferably really only one person. So if you come with a bunch of family members and they can wait in the car, we highly recommend that you do that, just so we can control the amount of people in the office. And then also to come into the office, we ask that you wear a mask. Please feel free to reach out to me either by email or phone. I really want you guys to know that my door is always open and I am here to assist and help and support the best that I can. So if you have a question or concern, please don't hesitate to shoot me an email. Okay, last slide for me. All right, so I wanted to spend some time talking about online behavior expectations. I did, like I said, I did put this on my back to school presentation. If you've already seen it, the slide's going to look familiar, but especially for our older kids and especially for our 8th graders, I just feel like this has to be restated so it's very clear about our expectations on behavior. First, dress code applies. So our parent student handbook has been posted on our Don Regio website, so you can access it there. Students are required to follow the school rules in dress code. So if, for example, they're wearing a shirt that has something inappropriate on it or something that's low cut or inappropriate for the camera, the teacher may ask them to turn off their camera, change, and then return when they're ready. Students will also be expected to communicate in a professional manner with both staff and fellow students. So in this digital distance learning platform, there's going to be a lot of times where students are going to be talking in Google Meets, typing in chat boxes, corresponding by leaving comments in Google Docs or on Google Classroom. Because of that, we want to make sure that all communication remains respectful to themselves and respectful for others. That also then includes refraining from any obscene or inappropriate language, such as profanity. And then this is probably the one that I feel like I need to spend the most amount of time on right now, is that I really want I want students to understand that they should avoid any conduct that could be determined as cyberbullying or cyber harassment. Cyberbullying is very serious, and the way that I envision this looking is students need to understand that they are never allowed to record a Google Meet or a live session. They're not allowed to take pictures. And if they were to record or take pictures and then do something, alter it in a way or post it on social media or use it to make fun of somebody, that would all fall under the category of cyberbullying. And if that were to happen, we would follow progressive discipline. But for something that serious, they could in fact receive a virtual focus center and or be suspended. Otherwise, for lower kind of offenses that could happen, like disruption in the class, goofing around, being inappropriate, those things may warrant a teacher to remove the student from the class. And then that student may have to either attend a virtual meeting with Mrs. Sandstrom, my assistant principal, or myself, or they may have to attend or actually come onto campus and meet with us in person, especially if we're doing like an investigation. So I want it to be clear that just because they're at home doesn't mean that consequences can't still occur, that this is still considered the school day, and activities and behavior that is occurring during the school day could still have consequences. And last but not least, students will not impersonate or use other students' email addresses. So it's just really important that students are always logging in as themselves and they are only representing themselves, because that is, again, a slippery slope of falling into that cyberbullying, cyber harassment piece. Okay, that is it for me. Take it away, Ms. Contino.
Okay, hi guys. Most of you should probably know me, but if you don't, my name is Ms. Contino. I teach language arts and drama. This is my 6th year at Don Reggio School. And I love it here. This place is home. All right, next slide. On this slide, you'll find all of my Google Classroom join codes. So if you're not already, or your student's not already in my Google Classroom, you can find the appropriate period number here and then the code and jump aboard. Also, what I have here is I just have a little screenshot of my Aries page. All of my Google Classroom links are on Aries now, as well as all of the links to my Google Meet. So if you're trying to find me tomorrow and you haven't joined my classroom yet, or you haven't looked at Aries yet, that's where you should go to find me tomorrow, especially if you're in my first period class. We are still using StudySync. That's our main mode of curriculum. And the way that you find that is you go to Clever and then you click on the little McGraw-Hill link there. And that's how you access all of your work. However, we won't always be using StudySync, but a lot of time we will. I'm hoping to start the year as soon as possible with The Outsiders. It's a book that I love to teach the end of 7th grade, but because of the nature of how we left school in the spring, our current 8th graders did not get to read The Outsiders. So I would like to start 8th grade with that book because I think they're gonna love it. I would also appreciate it if you join my Remind, particularly parents, because that is the easiest way for us to communicate. And you can find my codes there. All right, next slide, please. I am also the drama teacher. So for those of you in my drama class, welcome aboard or welcome back. This year, we're going to start in collaboration with the choir class. We do that a lot. You'll see that Mrs. Dahl's emoji is, or Bitmoji is also on my page here. We're starting with an audition workshop. So we're going to look at professional auditions and see what they require. And we're going to build a portfolio, both an acting portfolio and a music portfolio. So that's where we're starting. And then we'll move into our normal scenes and monologues, except for we're going to transfer them to a virtual setting and it's going to be great. And then we're going to hopefully collaborate with our kids about what they think they want to do for production. We have some ideas, but we want to hear from them as well. And we can make a decision together about what our big production is going to look like this year. Okay, thanks guys. Mrs. McCormick's on next.
Hi, everybody. Here we are again, back to school. Starting my 10th year at Don Reggio, my 18th year with our school district. In 8th grade, we're going to cover a lot of topics that you have never seen before as we get ready to prepare you for high school math, which is algebra. So we've got a lot to cover in 8th grade. Next slide, please. Every day, you're going to log into your Google Classroom. You will hit the classwork tab that's at the top of your page, and that will bring you to the page that looks like this one. Then at the bottom where it says class video meeting, that's where you will join your class every day on time, prepared, ready for learning. So if you haven't added your new classes, make sure you do so as soon as possible. Yeah, next slide, please. You're going to see the all familiar Eureka Math books in there. Yep, there they are. We'll be using those as well as other activities to liven up that math. There's our website, same website as last year, but you can access that website to get Google Classroom codes for math as well as the Remind codes. Please sign up for Remind, students and parents. If you have your own devices, put it on those devices. I use Remind a lot. As always, you can always email me. When we come to a Google Meet, please be prepared. Please find a quiet space. Bring out your spiral notebooks, the math text, the pencils, math tools, just as if we were in the classroom. Those expectations are still the same. Okay.
Hello, everyone. My name is Natalie Celez. I teach Read 180 English Language Arts for 7th and 8th grade. This is my 10th year teaching. It is my 6th year at Don Regio. Read 180 is unique because it is a 2-period block. So I will have your child for both 3rd and 4th period. Just like Mrs. Contino and Mrs. McCormick, you will your child will log into Google Classroom first thing, 3rd period, and I have my Google Classroom code there. And then from there, they will have the Google Meet links or any assignment links posted to the classwork section of my Google Classroom. Read 180 is pretty simple to log in. I will go over this with all the students tomorrow, but you just click on the student portal and then there's a Read 180 icon that you click. When your student logs in, their username is their student ID number and their password is their birthday backwards, which is the year, month, and then day. I will be using Remind quite often. And so I put my Remind code down there at the bottom. And then I also use email primarily to contact parents back and forth. And so my email is also listed there. And next is Mrs. Wise.
All right, hello, I'm Mrs. Wise and I teach history. No, can't see me yet, hold on. There we go. Okay, so I teach history. So for 8th grade, you're going to be learning about U.S. history. We will be starting looking at Native Americans and then colonial times. We will move into kind of the Revolutionary War and the constitutional era. We will look at how our American government was formed, the political parties, the westward expansion, and how social and economic changes were made in America. That led to the Civil War and eventually the Reconstruction of our country. I've been teaching, this will be my 15th year that I'm moving into teaching. And I love teaching 8th grade, and I hope that 8th graders will find this part of history interesting and you'll go home and have conversations with your parents. My history codes are listed here, so you can go ahead and copy that down, and please make sure that you join my class by the morning. You will be logging on. The Google Meets will be posted in the morning for you, so you'll do that first thing. And then we will be accessing our history textbook through the student portal. You'll click Clever, and then you'll log on with your student ID, which is your email address. And then you'll click TCI, which is our curriculum, and then it will take you into a screen that looks like this. You'll click text to be able to see your actual textbook online, and then towards the bottom of that textbook page will be the workbook, the questions that we will be working on part of the time in history. We will also be looking at Edpuzzles. I'm going to add Flipgrid to this, so that way then you're not always having to type your answer, but you can record a video and maybe tell me a little bit more of what you've learned. I am using the Remind app, so please, parents and students, please text this number so that you are in communication with me. Nice thing is it's basically a text message that goes to your phone, and then I'm also accessible by email as well. Up next is Mrs. Canosa.
Hey, can you guys see me? Hopefully it works. Hi, I'm Ms. Canosa, and I teach multiple subjects, including Read 180, math, history, and science. So like everybody else, you're going to be able to access our classroom through Google Classroom, and the code is right there on your screen. You can pause it if you need to. This year, we'll be using different modes of learning, including like Flipgrid, Kahoots, Edpuzzles. For math, we'll be using digital notebooks along with Apex and Dreambox and Eureka. For history, we'll also be using the online textbook through TCI. In order to get to the class meeting, once you join the classroom, you're going to click classwork at the very top there. You can click Courtney. Yep. And then you're going to click where it says class video meeting, and that'll let you join the Google Meet. In that homeroom, I will help you add all the rest of your classes, go through schedules, and help you access textbooks and all the materials that you need there. Next slide. And as far as communication goes, you can always reach me through email. And also, if you join Remind, then you can get text updates. If you download the app, then you can also direct message me using Remind. And next, we've got a new science teacher, Mr. Adams, and Mrs. Mullen's going to talk a little bit about the curriculum there.
Hi, I'm back on. I was waiting for my audio and video to kick in. So I apologize that Mr. Adams is not available tonight. I know that his wife was very near having a baby, so she may actually be in labor right now. We're not sure, but I know that he will be there tomorrow morning. And so parents who are not working or have the ability to check in when science comes, please attend with your child if you're able to. That way you get to actually see him and meet him. We are very excited to have him. He is a brand new science teacher, but has a lot of science experience. And I think is a great fit, is a go-getter, and really wants to try to provide as much hands-on, engaging lessons as possible for our 8th graders. Next slide, please. So looking at the second slide, you can see his classroom code. So again, if you want to pause the video, you can, in order to kind of capture what classroom codes, depending on what period you have him in. I know that his goal is even though right now it's really hard to, in distance learning, conduct experiments and such, he does plan on doing a lot of demonstrations and simulations through online platforms. And he plans on delivering his instruction just like everyone else via Google Classroom, but we're also using Discovery Ed, which is tied to NGSS standards and is an online science curriculum. So we're very excited about this. It will look very different from last year's science, which I know was a worry for some families. The last thing that I just want to say on Mr. Adams' behalf is taking a look at this quote. This is a quote that he really resonates with him, and I think speaks a lot to what he hopes his science class will be for students. It says, "I never teach my pupils. I only provide the conditions in which they can learn." And he is hoping that he can do that for you guys. Okay, next slide.
Hi, everybody. I am Mr. Eaton, and I am your child's physical education teacher. Those of you that had me last year, I'm looking forward to working with you again. I know we've got a few new students as well. Hopefully we'll eventually be able to get out there in person. Your students did not get the opportunity to play some volleyball with us at the end of the year. And I know we were all looking forward to that. And hopefully we can do that again this year. On there on your screen, physical education with me, that's my email, best way to get a hold of me. The icons around my Bitmoji right there Google Classroom. We will be using Google Classroom every single day, and we'll be using it a lot. It's going to have all the assignments. It's going to have any other comments I might put up there. I'm going to give different challenges to the kids. Some might be for a grade, some might not. And so a lot of communication is going to be happening through Google Classroom. Flipgrid is a new thing for me that I'm learning, and your students will be submitting videos to me in some instances to show what they've learned and what we've done in class. TikTok is up there because it is going to be my way to goof around with your kids. I'm not going to be in the classroom goofing around, saying some of the weird stuff I say and getting in some of the topics of conversation that we seem to get into. One topic in particular, all of my students know I love the 80s and I love 80s music. One of my colleagues here in a little while will disagree, but I'm not gonna worry about her. The TikTok stuff is not gonna be for a grade. TikTok stuff is simply gonna be for fun and goofing around and seeing my personality, seeing how we can interact, and also how I interact with the other teachers here on campus. Then also hard work. Hard work is always gonna be a part of our class, and we're gonna find different ways as we go on to get that done as well. Next slide for me, Courtney. And hit it one more time. There we go. And on the screen now is all of my Google Classroom codes. So again, the way your kid's gonna access their Google Classroom, I've already seen a lot of students on the Google Classroom. I've heard from quite a few of them through email, and that's great. I'm looking forward to tomorrow starting up. On the right there, just another goofy emoji of me. And then dance, sports, games, exercise, fun, different types of activities that we're going to be doing. Your students are going to be probably watching some videos of me, as I've already filmed a bunch of videos, and we'll do some live interaction stuff as well. But then also we'll do fitness concepts like health-related fitness and exercise principles, just different ways for your students to understand why it's important to be active, why it's important to be healthy, and hopefully they develop a respect for it as well. The kids are going to be sitting around on the computers a lot on a daily basis, and one of my biggest goals is to get them up and get them moving on a daily basis. And that's it for me for PE. I believe next is Ms. Dahl.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mrs. Dahl. I'm the choir teacher here at Don Riggio. My Google Classroom code is on there that you can see. Also, if you are in choir as your elective, my Remind code is there. You can join my Remind. Email is the best way to get a hold of me since I work at multiple sites. I'm usually really good about getting back really quickly through my email. That is the best way to communicate with me. So choir, music classes, it's all going to be a little different this year, at least starting out, right? We have to learn how to do this online. We will be singing. It's going to look a little different. The district's buying us some music programs so that we can do some singing and recording and different things online. And we'll go through all that. We're also going to be doing some different things in choir this year, like Ms. Cantino mentioned the audition books. We're going to be collaborating with drama on that. So we're going to be learning some musical theater, standard solo pieces. We're going to be doing some music history. We're going to be diving into some soundtrack projects. We're going to be doing a lot of different things to keep everybody engaged and having fun during this time. And then, like Ms. Cantino said, we are going to collaborate with the kids with choir and drama and come up with some type of musical production. We have some ideas. I think that it'll be great. And, you know, we want to get the kids' input, and we're going to go and we're going to do something really special, especially for our 8th graders. We know this is your last year, and we will do something for you. We promise. So that's it. If you have any questions for me about choir, feel free to contact me at any point. And now I'm going to throw it over to Mr. Udang, who's going to talk about band.
Thank you, Mrs. Dahl. So if you don't know me already, my name is Mr. Udang. I am the band teacher here at Riggio. All of our class will be run through Google Classroom. So please make sure that your students are logged into Google Classroom, and that way we're on the same page and we know what's coming up. If you, as a parent, need to get a hold of me, there are two ways that work really well that I wanted to make sure we focus on today. So the first is by email. Feel free to email me anytime. My email is on the screen there. I do work at multiple sites as well. So if I'm traveling between sites, once I get to a new site, I'll see a new email popped up and I'll get back to you as quick as I can. The second option is through the Remind app. So if you text at DRBand 2020 to 81010, it'll automatically enroll you into my Remind class. And that way you'll get live updates on any kind of homework assignments or communications that need to go out. Mainly in the first 2 weeks, we will be figuring out a system to check out instruments to students who do not already have instruments at home. So it's very important that we have these open lines of communication. But as far as our band class goes, we will be playing, we'll be learning a lot about music theory, doing a lot of listening as well, and responding to music. So there's a big variety of activities that we'll be doing, and the students will also be able to have a choice project that we'll save as a surprise for them later on, but that's a project they're choosing. So that is it for me, and on to Mr. K.
All right, thank you, Mr. Udang. Welcome, everyone. Hi, 8th graders. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Is my screen frozen? Can you guys hear me and see me? Am I moving? Anybody?
We can see you. We just can't hear you. We just can't see you.
Oh, let's try this again. There we go. Am I on now? All right. Okay. We're already over time, so I'm just gonna say real quick. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. I'll give you the whole rundown. So I hope you've had a great summer. All right, and I'll see you. Go to the Google Classroom, click on the link, and I'll see you at the meet. All right. Have a good night.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Mendelson. I am the 7th and 8th grade resource specialist. Most of your children probably already know me. They know me as the teacher that pops in and out of all of their teachers' classrooms, and I bug them constantly. My job is to provide academic support for students across all the main core classes. I also co-teach with Ms. Les as well. For the students that I've already sent invites out to, my Google Classroom code is up there as well. I am also the teacher that the students come to when they are sick of listening to Mr. Eaton's terrible music and they want something good to listen to. So I'm done, but we're gonna continue on and answer any questions with Mrs. Mullen. And then also at the end, we're going to have all of our email addresses and our codes again together. All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. I did notice, Mrs. Canosa, if you can answer a question for a parent in our chat box. It says, my son's meeting is not in classwork shown for Mrs. Canosa. Will it be there tomorrow morning? I said yes, but I figured if you wanted to add anything, you could.
Yes, it's scheduled to appear at I think like 7:50 or like 7:48. So this way they can join once I'm on there when school starts.
Okay, perfect. At this time, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to add that to the chat box and we will get those answered for you. I did notice that Mr. Adams joined us, so I would love for you guys to actually get the chance to see him. Mr. Adams, if you could just briefly introduce yourself. I already went over your slides and your remind code or your classroom codes, but it'd be nice to at least have a face for the name.
Okay, let me start my video. Oh. Can you hear me, Rebecca?
I can hear you. We can't see your video.
Yeah, I'm trying to start it. It says the host needs to start it. I'm sorry. says the host has stopped my video. Let me try to get in here. Oh, here we go.
There you go.
All right. Hi, everyone. Hi, Mr. Adams. Sorry I missed my slides. I had technical difficulties. I made an oopsie, but I promise I'll make it up to your students. I'm excited. I'm the new 7th, 8th grade science teacher, and I'm excited we're going to have a great year. I have all my class codes posted, and I emailed everyone the class codes corresponding to the period that their students in. So we're going to be doing a lot of fun interactive activities. We're going to be doing some good stuff that your kids have already been doing, like Kahoot and quizzes and things like that. I'm just looking forward to meeting everyone and having a good day tomorrow. And tomorrow is going to be the start of a good year. So I'm excited to be here at Don Regio. I'm excited to be the newest dolphin. I'm going to be the best dolphin ever. So I promise I'll make your kids into the best dolphin ever too. I promise.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Adams. There was a question here from Ivan about what's considered inappropriate clothing. What I had recommended, Ivan, is that you guys go onto our Don Regio website, because our parent student handbook is listed there. And in fact, it will tell you everything that is considered inappropriate or not allowed at school. So hopefully that helps to answer the question, and that's something that you can seek that answer on your own. If you ever have, always kind of say, err on the side of caution. When in doubt, don't wear it. It's better to be safe rather than maybe have a situation where a teacher has to ask you to turn off your video or to change. Any other questions? All right, that concludes our night. We are so grateful that you were a part of this event. We hope that you guys have a wonderful evening. Thank you for joining us. And tomorrow's going to be a great day. So sending you all off, please feel free to reach out to any of the teachers. We do have all their email addresses listed here in order to help if you have any questions that you want to just send to them. All right, thank you. Have a good night. Bye, everyone.
Are we done?
I'm done.
I think
Are
we're
we
still
not
live.
live anymore?
My issue right now is I don't even know if I've stopped the webinar or like the live stream, because I don't have access to. So you guys are all being shown and you're waving. So I would just log off. Everybody log off.
Hey, Rebecca, you want me to log off?
Yes, please. I'm not sure how to do this. Oh man. This is just not what I wanted to be dealing with.